what voters can do to make sure that their ballots get safely from their own hands to the elections office. So I know that I think there was something called a handoff. We'll have to talk to John later. But we actually have a courier that picks the ballots up, and it's in a secure area. So we'll talk about that at the end. But for now, what we want to address together is just how the process works, a little bit about how the mail flows through the mail system, and how voters can make sure that they get their ballots into the mail at the right time so it gets to us. So now I'm going to throw some of the heavy lift to John so that he can just talk a little bit about that mail stream process.
Right. So, you know, the Postal Service is going through some extraordinary efforts here through the selection process, and we'll be picking up the blue collection boxes that everybody sees around town. Here locally around Spokane, we have 159 of these blue boxes that you can drop in, and they'll be picked up every day, including on Sunday. We're going to pick them up on Sunday. Even outlying areas, the smaller postmasters and towns that have a post office with a blue box, that will also be picked up on Sunday, which is going to be an extraordinary effort, which we all believe that handling the election mail properly and timely is what we need to be doing every day. It's our #1 priority. So it's the first mail that gets handled and taken care of every day, and we ensure that every piece is delivered to the election committee, and they, you know, we have a great relationship with Vicky and her group. So, you know, that's something that really works well for us. And then, you know, you may wonder what we may do on the last day, you know, on Tuesday, which I think, you know, we're going to have collection box times. I think that is, everything that gets in by that collection box time is going to have a postmark of that date. And that's the key. Once the postmark's on there, that is a good ballot. It'll be counted by the elections committee. So, you know, the key is you know, right now we're at 51% in Spokane County for election ballots coming back. I expect that number to jump, you know, 15% by the weekend. So we're doing really well on getting the election ballots back, and I believe that our employees are up for the challenge, and we will be we'll be taking care of the ballots and election mail that's entrusted to the Postal Service. Any questions on that?
So how many boxes?
We have 159 blue boxes here in the city of Spokane.
And how many post offices?
We have 15 post offices that have a 992, but you know, pretty much every town has a post office. And what's that? 159 blue boxes.
So the other thing to know about those blue boxes and the post offices is you can go to the U.S. Postal Service website, and they have a locator. So if you need to find the blue collection bin closest to you or most convenient to you, you can go to the USPS website. It has a great map, and it'll tell you exactly where that box is. And the same thing for the post offices. If you need to know where your post office is, that map has them right there so that you can easily find your post office. So one of the other things that I want to point out that John is showing is this postmark is incredibly important to us. And one of the things that they're doing at the main distribution plant out by the airport is they've made sure that the machines were all cleaned and ready to go so that these postmarks are absolutely clear and human readable. So you can actually read every last character on that postmark. And that's one of the little things that the USPS is doing in this region to make sure that every ballot that they handle has the opportunity to be counted properly. So that's been a big thing for us in the past, and their machines are really clear and clean this election, and we really appreciate it. So any other questions about just the delivery aspect, the voter aspect of getting?
So if how they do that?
The boxes actually have the time right on them, and the U.S. Postal Service website also has pickup times. And I believe that's for the boxes also. I know it's for the post offices, and I believe it's got it on for the boxes too.
And then the actual like machine that postmarks, is that something, so as soon as your election mail goes in the blue box, it immediately goes to a facility, gets postmarked, or how does the postmark work?
So basically, we have the distribution plant that's out by the airport, and then all the ballots are put through the regular collection mail and sorted through a machine that actually puts a postmark on it. So all our outgoing mail that goes out of Spokane or any town really, once they make it to one of the plant distributions, they'll go through a cancellation process. And so any of your stamp letters, same way with the ballots. So you can see that's another one of the things that the Postal Service is doing that typically would not be done. Right? We're going above and beyond putting a cancellation on every ballot, where this is basically a BRM where you wouldn't need it because the postage is already paid.
Yeah.
So,
and again, the USPS is really working with us well. And in fact, one of the things that's happening this election is you're supposed to return it in the white envelope, and voters, please do that. Please use your return envelope that on the other side has your name and signature, please. But what's happening is some people are just dropping the ballot with the security envelope only into the mailboxes. And the USPS is postmarking those and getting them to Spokane County, and then we'll try to figure out which county they belong to, because a lot of those security envelopes don't have the county on them because they're not meant to be the mailing envelope. So again, a step above and beyond is what the USPS is doing. But voters, we want to remind you, that's why we have the return envelope for you. Please use it. It's got the prepaid postage, and then all the information is on the other side that we need to be able to process it. And we're not showing the other side because it does contain personal information. So that's why you're only getting this side of the envelope. Sorry, folks.
So the postmark happens at the distribution center. If I drop off my ballot on election day at 4:55 p.m. at the post office, is it a guarantee that it will get to the distribution center that day to get postmarks?
yes. Now, if the collection box time you drop it, it's 3, it's going to be different, you know. So look at your collection box. Ensure that's the time you need to get it there. But if you take it to a post office, all of our post offices are open till 5. So, you know, they will, if you let it across to a clerk, they will postmark it right in front of you. So, yeah, but if you drop it in a collection box, it will go to the plant and get a cancellation date on it.
Yep.
That day.
Justine.
So I see a lot on social media, it's being spread that, you know, if you do not get if you don't mail your envelope in by, I think it was like yesterday, then it won't get in time. So people are like, make sure you get in a drop box, drop off in person. Obviously, there is a distinction with Washington. As long as it's in by election day, postmark by then, it's fine. So can you kind of make that distinction?
You know, if you're getting it, with election mail, we're trying to get it there. If it's in a spot where we can get it overnight, that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure that every ballot gets there on time. The distinction is that, you know, different states have different election laws and have started mailing. The state of Washington's been doing mail-in balloting for a long time. And so we're pretty good at it here locally. And like I said, we've got a really good rapport with them. So some of the stuff you hear is probably not necessarily going to be as clear, but you know, the Postal Service around the country is doing those same extraordinary efforts. We're not doing anything different than what the whole nation is doing, and election mail is priority 1 right now. So we'll be ensuring that every ballot gets there timely.
But I guess we should help out Idaho, because Idaho, the ballot has to be in the hands of the election officials by election day. So putting you on the spot a little bit, sorry.
Yeah.
What would you recommend for the folks in Idaho as the last day to put it in the mail to make sure it gets to the clerk in Idaho by election day?
Well, Eastern Idaho, like the Panhandle, goes through our Spokane plant here, and that's a same-day turnaround. Everybody, all the way down to, past Grangeville, all the way down to Riggins, comes all the way to Spokane and gets processed and back.
Wow.
So, we probably have some of the best postal service delivery here in the Spokane area, and this is one of the best plants in the nation. So, I would expect you get it in there by Sunday, it's going to be there Monday. You get it there on Monday for the collection, it's going to be back on Tuesday. Because that is our number one priority. So they will turn those ballots around as fast as they can. And that means going out that next day.
One concern of the primary was people who registered online late, making sure the ballot got to them in time for them to turn around. Is that concern now for the general people who just registered maybe on Monday online, making sure that their ballots get to them in time for them to get it back by the rest of it?
Yeah, so delivery of ballots, we've seen a considerable drop. We don't see very many going back out, but as long as they're in the mail and they get to distribution and out in the mail system, they'll be delivered that next day once they get mailed out.
Yeah, and one of the things that we want to point out is this particular, what do we call it?
Insignia.
Insignia,
Yeah.
thank you. So this particular insignia is used all the way across the U.S. to indicate that it is elections mail. So with this insignia, the post office knows that this is official elections mail, and it is getting priority handling across the nation. So starting within the next day or two, even though we may be sending blank ballots out to voters in the mail, we'll also be instructing voters how to print their ballot off from their home computer, how to mark it and get it back to us. So that's one of the great things about Washington State is we have so many different options to make sure that voters have an opportunity to cast a ballot. Using the mail system is just one of those options, although it is our most important method of getting ballots to voters and ballots back from voters. So anything else you want to add, John?
No, I appreciate your guys' time. I think this is a great reminder to all of our customers and voters that let's get our ballots in and vote.
Yeah. And right now, as of last night, we're sitting at 55% turnout.
Nice.
So 199,000 envelopes have come back to us as of last night.
That's awesome.
So it's an awesome, amazing number. And a lot of those have come through the mail. So we're getting about 55% through the drop box and about 45% through the mail. And what we expect to see is that percentage of drop box will increase now towards Election Day. It's just how the pattern goes. But we want people to understand you can put your voted ballot in the mail and it will get to us. Just make sure that you find a blue bin or a post office lobby. Make sure if you do it on Election Day that you check that last pickup time. And then it will get a postmark that we can read.
Yeah. And if you're not sure, take it to a clerk. They'll postmark it right in front of you for you. So you take it into your post office while they're open, and they will postmark it coming across the counter for you.
Yep.
Right on.
Okay. So I know that the news release that went out mentioned a handoff. Our pickup is actually done by a courier in a secured location where you have to have an actual FBI background check to get into. So we're not going to do that, if you don't mind.
It's J-O-N.
Okay, so this is actually going to be our handoff. He's an official post office employee, and of course, I'm the county auditor, so we can do this.
That's
So,
right.
Anyway, want to hang on to it for me?
Sure.
Okay, hand it over.
Right on. That was easy.
Okay.
We can do it one more time. Here we go. That was easy.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, this lucky voter, whose first name is Zach, I will say, his is going right straight to elections right now. So, no showing the backside.
Outstanding.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.